As pointed out before, the entries into the sales process are numerous and various, bearing in mind that there are plenty of sources a lead or an opportunity can get into the system. In our particular example today, we will see how an appointment can be converted to an opportunity. So, our relationship manager, Addison Floyd, had a meeting with his customer, Robert Leon, in order to discuss cash loan Robert expressed an interest for. The meeting went quite well, and now Addison needs to input the feedback that was collected during the meeting. What will help Addison is this guided business process flow, particularly activity outcome stage that highlights the most important information Addison needs to enter to ensure that the next steps for this customer are easily taken. So let's say that response on cash loan and the offers bank has that they are actually quite interesting for Robert. So we can say that he's definitely interested. We will confirm this by entering even the sales probability on very high percentage, such as 80%. Moreover, we can say that estimated contract date is quite soon, for example, beginning of March. Let's say this. And now we are ready to take the next steps on this cash loan and start the opportunity process. But before we do it, let's assume that during the meeting, Edison and Robert discussed also some additional products. So Edison also offered this special action that bank has for credit cards and housing loans. Robert is, for example, interested in some of these offers, but not for all. And what is, of course, very important is to collect and enter Robert's feedback on all of these offers that were discussed during the meeting. So let's scroll a bit down, and you can see here that actually we can enter Robert's feedback on several different products. For the cash loan, we already did, bearing in mind that it was the main subject of discussion. But let's now also ensure that we record his feedback on a credit card. So let's say that for this one, he was possibly interested in, but for housing loan, he was not that interested, bearing in mind that he already consumes it in another bank. As you can see here, this is one of the options here, but also some others are also available. But in our case, let's say that Robert already has this loan in some other bank. So now we can definitely save our appointment, and since all the feedback is recorded, and now what the user relationship manager should do is to take the next steps, of course taking into account Robert's interest for each on the products discussed. Now, to speed up and standardize these steps, a user has an option available here in the ribbon called Convert to Opportunity or a Task, which will go through all the products, all the feedback, and create an appropriate next action. So let's see how this works. Okay, the system informs us that opportunity/task were generated successfully. Let's take a look and see what it means. So first of all, if I navigate here to this subgrid of tasks, I will see that there is one new task created. named follow up on offered product, of course, regarding Robert Leon, and that due date is actually on 1st of March, or actually in 7 days. So if I open this one, I will exactly see that and this task is regarding credit card, and of course it is assigned to Edison, who should in 7 days make a follow-up with Robert and see if he is maybe interested to proceed with the next steps, and maybe start this story more seriously by taking a credit card within the bank. So this is a task that Edison, of course, will have on his dashboard, and will be able to react promptly once the time comes. Okay, and what about the other two? So for the other two, Robert was, let's say, more explicit, and said exactly that he's interested uh, in case of cash loan, and definitely not interested in case of a housing loan. Therefore, what we can see here are two opportunities. One created for cash loan, and of course set in status open, bearing in mind that the process needs to continue for this one, and the other one for housing loan, created but already closed in status lost, bearing in mind Robert doesn't want to take this product from the bank. If I open this opportunity, I will see also exactly what was the status, or actually what was the reason why this opportunity is lost. And as you can see here, this is exactly what we specified earlier, that Robert already consumes this is another bank. So what we will achieve with this, that anything that we have offered to our customer is recorded in the system, and we have a feedback from the customer recorded, so we can leverage from it later in some statistics, reports, analysis, etc. Okay, and now let's proceed with this one that we have in status open, so this opportunity. If I navigate there, I will also see that a couple of data has already been fulfilled. Not only the customer and the product customer is interested in, but also probability specified earlier, as well as estimated close date. And now, what we need to do further is, of course, to guide and this opportunity through several stages of the process, and hopefully at the end get the contract. So now what we will do exactly is we will see what are the stages and how the sales process for cash loan can be supported within Dynamics 365. So let's start from scratch and phase that is having name identify. So the purpose of this stage is, of course, quite simple. What we need to do is define customer type, of course, bearing in mind that the processes are not the same for private individuals and legal entities. Maybe enter opportunity source if it hasn't been defined earlier, then the product customer is interested in, and maybe some just add some free text description containing exactly some data why a customer needs cash loan, what are his conditions, and so on. So bearing in mind that, and of course, if there is some date for to schedule proposal meeting. Okay, so we do have all necessary data for the first stage. So let's proceed to the next one, which is actually a KYC stage. KYC stage assumes that we will update data of our customer that we already have in a database. So we will either update them, add some data, remove some data, of course, depending on depending on situation and if anything has been changed. Why do we have this KYC stage at this point? Because of course we need and we would like to use any opportunity to know our customer and to ensure that his data is up to date in our system. So basically we use any chance to check and maybe update some data. Of course, what we see here are data that we currently have, but as I said, any of them we can modify if they has have been changed. So let's say that actually our customer, for example, is not a head of sales anymore, but he's now, for example, a project manager. Okay. And if I actually look at the steps that are very important in this phase to complete, what actually this phase highlights are consents for, of course, GDPR purposes. So this is here just to remind end user to check if maybe now customer is willing to give some consent that was not given before. In this case, we see that we already have consents for email and phone, so we can, of course, just check if this is still what our customer prefers. And of course, what we need to do before we proceed any further is to send this data to the core system and ensure they are also updated. The data is also updated there. So how we will achieve this? On the ribbon, we have option send to core, which actually should result that everything that we have collected here will be transferred to the core system. So let's do this operation as well. Okay, so we see that the operation has been successfully executed, and now we are able to proceed and actually get back to our opportunity now when the date customer's data is up to date. So now we are in a phase called processing, where we need to collect more data about this loan application. And at some point, we will transfer this data to the system that is in charge, so to say, of loan processing. So what actually we are collecting here? These are actually the most, let's say, some the most basic data about the loan application, such as if customer has a will or already has transferred his income to our bank. Uh, Robert already has transferred this to the bank, so this is why this is already set to yes. If credit report is provided, what is the currency of the loan he would like to take, what is the amount, and what is the number of installments. So let's put this data here. Okay, and at this stage, how the process is envisioned, it is envisioned that from now on, the loan processing system will take over further loan processing. So what we need to do is we need to send what was collected so far there, so that loan application can be processed further, so that risk processes can take place, etc. So let's initiate this action. Okay. And what is now also important to know is that also from CRM perspective, the process is not over here. Even now, it will actually actively be done somewhere else. But what is of course very important is that in CRM the status of loan application is synced in real time, so that Edison or any other user who checks this opportunity see exactly what is the current status of application and what are the next steps. So as you can see here, application status is now processing. And moreover, if I scroll here a bit down on a form, I will see that also there is application number, so the number that is a number of application in loan processing system. And of course, this one will change over time as the process is progressing. For demo purposes, bearing in mind that now I don't have a loan processing system somewhere in the background, I will just manually update this status to the next one to show you when is the point of the process when again something can be done within Dynamics 365. So let's assume that the next status of our application is waiting for approval, meaning that somebody needs to check it and approve it. So as you can notice now, what has been changed is that one additional stage has appeared here. And not only that, but if I refresh this timeline, I will see that one task has been created and assigned to Edison, informing that now Edison needs to review this opportunity and approve it within Dynamics 365 so that the process can proceed further. So let's actually open this task to see it. Of course, just one disclaimer, the task would not be visible only on this opportunity, but also on Edison's dashboard. So Edison exactly knows when there is something new requiring the attention, her attention. Okay, so we see that approval is needed. We see that this is regarding opportunity, and this is some message, so that informing Addison that she needs to approve it for the process to continue. Okay, so Addison would go to the opportunity from this task, then would navigate to the approval phase, where actually the application should be, or actually the opportunity should be either approved or rejected. To perform this operation, there is one button here in the ribbon named Send Approval, and of course, two options available, so either approve or reject opportunity. So let's approve this one. Okay, so what we see here now is that approve result is already set to approved. So Addison can definitely close this task. And if I scroll a bit down, I will also see that the application status has also been changed. So it is now set to approved. And of course, the process can proceed further. And finally, we are at a contract stage where there are a couple of steps to be done. So contract needs to be signed, and after that, loan needs to be disbursed. And of course, not only that, but loan will be synced to Dynamics 365 and related to this opportunity, so that there is always a connection between the opportunity that was very beginning of the sales process and of course a loan that is end result of the sales process. So once we say that actually the contract is signed, which is also the information that would normally be received from loan processing system, I will just now save it. What I will see is that of course with this information, we would not only receive this, but we will also receive this link to the loan record. Before I navigate to it, let's just also check how this application data section now looks. So we see exactly that now status is completed, and of course we have to the link to the loan even here. So if I click here, I will see exactly the loan data. So what is the initial loan amount, disbursement date, number of installments, and last installment date, as well as interest rate data. And of course the data for this loan will be updated over time, together with other products that are synced from core system to Dynamics 365. So there is always up-to-date information on a customer 360 view. So with this, I would conclude sales process that actually started even earlier, even on website when Robert was interested in having cash loan, contacted virtual agent who scheduled him a meeting with relationship manager. Relationship manager met with Robert. They discussed the offer. That then from that appointment we actually transformed it to the opportunity process that has a few stages the user went through, during which even some customers' data was updated during KYC. Some main data about the loan were was collected, and then at some point transferred to the loan processing system where process continued. But when there was a need for Edison to approve it, the process for a moment got back to the CRM. Edison was notified about this task requiring her attention. She updated or actually approved the opportunity, which again was synced back to the loan processing system, where finally the loan was dispersed and synced back to the Dynamics 365, so that there is a connection between the opportunity and its end result, which is a loan. Of course, everything is visible on Robert's 360. So if I just navigate here, I will of course see that now he has 4 active loans. And of course, within the loan data, we will see exactly this loan that was created. So with this, I would wrap up the sales process that can be fully supported within Dynamics 365 for various banks products.